let's go all over base identification for Town Hall 12 and how you can find the right strategy for the right base. What's going on, guys? My name's Corrupt. Let's start with the Queen Charge Hybrid. In order to know when to use this attack and when it's the most effective, since it can be forced on any base, you mainly want to look at the enemy CC placement. So if you're able to get rid of the CC troops and the Town Hall, go for it. But if you also see something like the CC, the Eagle, and the multi-target Inferno, you may want to go for that, but it just depends on how far you really want to go in with the Queen Charge, and realistically how much pathing that you want to get. In this case, since the base design is a fairly common one, and using the Queen Charge to get rid of this area, along with using the Siege Barrack here, it's a better judgment to go in towards the core, so not to go too deep into the base. Usually in this case, I would recommend to use the Battle Blimp, but it's actually better to use the Siege Barrack, since the Battle Blimp is usually best when going with the hybrid against an isolated Town Hall that doesn't have many defenses around it. So those are the main things, but if I were you, I would recommend using the Battle Blimp just to create a bit of a funnel for the Queen Charge to get much more from the base than you would normally. The Yeti Bomb can be used on a multi-Town Hall or even the Eagle Artillery, just depends on how much value you're able to get rid of. Overall though, you mainly want to start by using your Queen Walk, Baby Dragon. You do want to try and bring some balloons to finding Seeking Air Mines to prevent this from happening, so that way what you're able to do is start getting your way into the base. Along with this, I would recommend the use of either using a Rage spell or using Headhunters to take care of the enemy heroes. Headhunters are definitely going to be a better call since it will prevent you from using a Rage spell and it could provide a ton of support for you. But he's able to easily still work his way through, using the Queen in order to start stepping up towards the Eagle Artillery where the enemy CC will be able to be lured out, and by also creating the funnel on this side and allowing the Hog Riders from that Siege Barrack to get a little bit more pathing done for the Hogs and Miners that you're going to be sending in towards the Town Hall. So while all of that is all said and done, you mainly want to be able to just control your hybrid. In this case, since the Eagle Artillery and the Multi-Infernos are fairly close, even Witches would have worked on this base. But the main goal here, as I've said, is to send in your hybrid towards the Town Hall. That's exactly what you want. You want to make it easy for them, so by using the heal spell early, that allows you to keep your Miners and Hogs alive, and as you get closer to the Town Hall, you will want to use it about closer to half health. That way you're able to protect the Miners and Hogs by using the Warren ability. Overall, you've got an easy lane here by just kind of making it like a straight line. Remember that pathing for hybrid is either going to be in an L shape or it's going to be in a straight line. So you do want to consider those things. Overall, there's a lot that can work on different bases. Witches was one of them, and of course hybrid can absolutely be forced on any base. It's just you got to take the time to understand where is that Town Hall placed, where is the enemy CC placed, and that's going to help you in determining which siege and also where you should be using your Queen Charge. Next up is the Sui Lalo, and in order to understand when to use this attack, you mainly want to look at the enemy CC and the enemy Queen placement. That's going to help you understand where do you want to enter into and how much value can you get from just those two and where they're placed among other defenses. Now, as far as you can tell, this is a common base. This is an island base. You can actually use a hybrid on this. I did go over this in a previous video, but the main goal is just to get rid of an entire section. Very similar to the Lalo, all you really want to do is, whether you're using Lalo or hybrid, you just want to get rid of a quadrant. That way you have L-shaped pathing for the rest of the base. That's it. So in terms of base identification for both attacks, this is the best choice. Now, usually in terms of identifying when to bring an E-Drag should be when you're able to see a lot of buildings kind of all together. That way you can get some value from the E-Drag's chain ability. That way you can also use the Wall Wrecker or Log Launcher. I find the Wall Wrecker and the Log Launcher to be the best siege machines in this case, due to the fact that they're just able to open up walls, which the Stone Slammer and Battle Blimp can't really do well. So the main goal here should be to get rid of the enemy CC and of course the enemy Queen. That way you're able to also get rid of extra value like something like the Eagle Artillery, like some single or multi-target Infernos. You want to take advantage of as much value that you can get from the base, and the Wall Wrecker will also be able to open a lot of that up for you. You can also bring the use of Yetis from the Wall Wrecker in order to get a little bit extra value from the base to make it just a little bit easier in terms of pathing. Is you've got easy pathing now for the hybrid, or for the either a hybrid or a Lalo, it doesn't matter, but for the Lalo portion. So the main goal should be to send in, and you want to look at air defenses. Since no air defenses were taken down, you want to consider 4 points, A, B, C, and D. So you want to try and kind of use this as a gauge. You want to have your first Lalo go in here, and then you want your second Lalo to merge in, but you want them to all work themselves towards the Town Hall. It's pretty much creating a funnel to start getting them towards that Town Hall in case you're seeing an island base. So you're using a haste spell, the Warden ability, and the freeze to prevent too much damage on the balloons. That way you can easily work through, even if you only bring 3 Lava Hounds and all your Lava Hounds die pretty early on due to the air defenses stacking. That's really everything that you want to know about using this attack and how you can be really successful and proficient at it. Pretty much, don't try to look at it too difficult. It's a very simple attack. Just make sure that you have easy pathing. Think of it similar to a hybrid in terms of the L shape. Next, we have the Yeti Bobat. Now, in order to understand when to use this attack over others, you may want to look at splash buildings. Things like the Multi-Infernos, the Town Hall, the Eagle Artillery, and of course Wizard Towers is everything that you want to look for. Now, this space design, if we return back to stuff like the hybrid, since the CC is in the core, you can just go any direction. You could maybe go in this direction or this direction. It doesn't matter because you can still get a solid amount of value no matter really where you go. Probably the best angle would be going in and charging this direction because you can take care of the Town Hall with the Queen Charge. Now, likewise, with the Sui Lalo, you could easily send the Wall Wrecker in towards this direction or even towards this direction, though you would need to use a free spell on the single Inferno, but you're able to take care of the enemy Queen, Eagle, Town Hall, etc. and get a ton of value with that. So I want to open the door to the attacks that we've previously seen, therefore you guys get a little bit of an understanding in terms of other base types. And as we move through with the other replays, I'm also going to be going over when is it best to use a Yeti or P.E.K.K.A. Bobat. Yes, you can still substitute the Yetis for P.E.K.K.A.s if your Yetis are not level 2. So just keep that in mind. The Log Launcher is the best siege machine with these type of attacks, so don't use the Wall Wrecker. I just think the Log Launcher is a better option. You get a lot more value from it, and it just does a lot more in terms of a long-range coverage. Overall, you do want to try and use a rage spell early and the Warden ability to easily get through both the enemy CC, of course with the poison, getting to the Town Hall, and also getting everything to go into the core. Even though you weren't able to, or even this attacker is going to start his bats before he gets rid of the core. So usually you don't need to worry all too much, but the main goal here is to use the free spells. You want to allow your bats to overwhelm the base. So starting in a bat wave is a great choice, but once they start to one-shot these buildings, it's almost game over, because overall, most of the base, they're still going to be able to target onto your bats, but you have so many of them that they're just going to whittle the health down like it's absolutely nothing. Just know, though, be very careful of any air bombs that if the healers kind of fly by the bats, they could activate them. Or the tornado trap that ground troops can still activate. If the bats fly over, it could be game over as well. So you just got to be very careful about those things. But overall, if you're going to use a P.E.K.K.A. Bobat or a Yeti Bobat, you've got both options since they're roughly the same in terms of what you're looking for and how to enter into. Next up, we have the Zap Dragons, and in order to make it simple, all you want to do in terms of base identification is where air defenses are placed. Normally, if you see the air defenses not placed by Infernos, these are only going to take 2 lightning and 1 earthquake. However, if there is a multi-inferno by the air defenses, you're going to need to bring 4 lightning and 1 earthquake. So you do want to keep that in mind. Now, dragons do require a really controlled area. It's precise control. So making sure that you're able to control where they're going is exactly what you want. Now, for other attacks like Queen Charge Hybrid, you mainly want to look at the enemy CC. As far as what I see, I can go in with a Yeti Bomb for the Inferno on either side realistically to get rid of the Infernos and lure out the CC, then walk into the Town Hall on either side and possibly send in the Hybrid towards the other Inferno and into the Eagle Artillery. With the use of the Sui Lalo, you could use the Wall Wrecker to go in from the other side to get rid of the enemy CC, enemy Queen, and the Eagle Artillery, and maybe get to the Town Hall. If it's the Yeti Bobat though, I wouldn't recommend it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments about that one on this base, but the main goal here should be just in order to get rid of as many of the air defenses as possible. You can even get rid of sweepers, which can really help, but getting rid of the multi-inferno and the air defense is huge value and could possibly really allow you to get a ton. So usually you want to make sure that you're creating the funnel on either side. One side with the heroes, the other side with something like a dragon or E-Drags. That way you can send in the dragons straight through the middle of the base. Now remember, you've got no spells at this point. If you're bringing 3 earthquakes and the rest lightning, you've got no spells for your dragons. So you have nothing to get through the Town Hall easily. All you have is the Warren ability, and that's it. So after that point, you can just pack it up, you can just go get a drink, and you can easily still work your way through, because there's really nothing more that you can do. You're not going to be popping your Stone Slimer anytime soon. So realistically, you've got a lot of different options. Now, dragons do require precise an area of the base, and they do require you to easily control them. So something like a Queen Walk is a great option if you're either going to charge your way into an open area of the base, or if you're able to get rid of a really open area that the defender just kind of left there. And along with that, you just want to be able to make sure you're easily creating the funnel to make it simple for your dragons to easily work their way through. Overall, it's a very simple attack strategy, and even if you leave the Eagle up as the last thing, usually I would recommend getting rid of it. As long as you have easy, predictable pathing and not that many defenses hitting your dragons, you'll be all fine. Last but not least, we have the Zap Witches, and the base identification here is the easiest of all the attacks I mentioned. All you really need to do is look for the Town Hall, Eagle Artillery, and 3rd Inferno if it's set to multi in a line or at least somewhat together. So you can use the lightning spells and earthquake to get rid of 2 remaining Infernos. Overall, that's it. That's the base identification necessary to use this attack. Now, of course, this base you can still hit with other attacks, but Zap Witches is the easiest to look for, and it is the easiest to use. So pretty much all the other attacks I've mentioned, it really doesn't come to par with how easy the Zap Witches is. So using the lightning spells on 2 different sides and then easily going your way in. Now, usually this comes down to golem placement as well, so you do want to try and place your golems and or ice golems very well. So you've got golems to tank here, same on this direction, and you've got some going into the core of the base to make it easier for you. Now, along with this, you can bring the use of some super wizards, because they can provide a lot of value, soften defenses up, and make it so much easier for you. So you do want to try and consider all those different things. If you're bringing the use of the log launcher, you do want to use a Warren ability to protect it from taking that much damage from other sources. Other than that, the witches are just going to easily overwhelm all sides of the base, whether this be the left, the middle, or even the right side, you've got an easy lane for everything. And in this case as well, since the AI here, it found it just a lot easier to jump the wall even though the wall was already open. Don't ask me how that works, I don't even know, but overall it's just the AI and seeing that it's able to jump the wall even though the wall is already open. It doesn't really matter, but that's sometimes why you see a lot of the jump spells being used anyways, so it just guarantees that the troops are going to go into the base. But overall, the rest of the base is cleanup, and that's how simple this attack can really be for you. So if you're still struggling with base identification, let me know in the comments below what you are struggling with, and I'll try to help you with any way I can. If you want to see more videos on base identification, I've got multiple videos right here on screen, and make sure guys to subscribe to the channel, and make sure to also use code Corrupt in the Clash of Clans shop, and I'll be catching you in the next video. Corrupt, signing out.